Hello and welcome to Palace Fan TV for Jim and Jay's final say post West Brom game. The Pulis Derby, as apparently no one calls it anymore. A 2-0 win for Palace and a very professional display indeed. 15 points for the season now, back into a Champions League spot for Palace, and a very, very good win and a good performance. It was a weird game in that West Brom came and played very defensive and very negative, and we got to half time and it was still 0-0, and most of us in the Homestale couldn't believe that Palace weren't winning. I've never seen Palace dominate a team like that and not score for a long time. I think we played Nottingham Forest back in the promotion season, and Palace absolutely smashed them in the first half, and again it was 0-0, and I think we ended up drawing 1-1 in that game. So there was worry with the game against West Brom, because the longer it went on 0-0, the more you thought, it's a sort of game that West Brom might come back into. As it was, they offered absolutely nothing at all going forward. The old Palace probably would have lost that game 1-0, but this is a new Palace who have got incredible confidence and loads of ability, and they just kept going and plugging away, and eventually they scored. But it's a very, very negative display from West Brom, and I mean, I know we're biased, but I don't think Palace were ever that negative under Pulis, surely. I know we were very defensive and organised, but I'm talking about the negative tactics, like they were going down under any challenge and time wasting, complaining at referees, a lot of kick-outs at Palace, a lot of kicks at Cabaye and Wilf and Balassi, and a lot of time wasting. They were sort of playing for time after about 20 minutes in the first half. It was very negative, very clear they'd come for a 0-0, and once Palace scored, you knew it was game over, because West Brom didn't offer anything else in terms of a plan B or anything. Going forward, they had Rondon up front, who for £15 million did not look like he offered you that much, but he had no support from anyone. Berahino was very poor and was hooked off at half time, and West Brom just didn't really offer anything. You'd think they'd maybe set up to play Palace on the counter in the way that Palace used to under Pulis, and sit and contain Palace and then hit them on the wings on the break, but there was nothing going forward. All their midfielders played very defensive. So really, it was a game there for the taking, and thankfully Palace did take it. And it took a while for them to get through and find the breakthrough, but it was good when they did, and it was well deserved. I don't think Palace have played that well, or certainly dominated a team for a long time. But it was a good performance from Palace. Probably one of the easiest clean sheets they'll keep all season, in terms of the lack of attack that West Brom offered. But really, the game was won and lost in midfield. Cabaye absolutely dominated. His use of the ball was fantastic. He's got a bite to him. He was getting in tackles, winning interceptions. You could see that he was really trying to dictate play, and he was absolutely fantastic. MacArthur alongside him was brilliant again, and those two are really getting a good partnership, or Mukabai, as I've decided to coin them. I'm pretty sure that won't catch on. But they were fantastic. Cabaye just has so much about him. He's got real class. The assist for Balassi's goal was absolutely beautiful, sticking it up to the back post. I don't think anyone expected it. Myhill was well out of position, and it was a good header from Balassi. But Cabaye is really starting to show in the last few weeks. I mean, all season, but certainly he's really stepped it up last few weeks. His quality and what he can offer, and he almost makes the rest of the team play better as a result. He brings up that level of quality from everyone. We've got a lot of players in our team who we know have got quality and can perform, but Cabaye is bringing the best out of them. And it was good to see. You look at players like MacArthur, who played well today. Puncheon had a very, very good game. His best in the last few weeks, definitely using the ball very well. His shooting is a bit wayward, but he certainly uses the ball very well. And Wilf. It was great to see Wilf against Watford come off the bench and respond to being dropped. And today he earned that starting position with his second half display against Watford. And today was fantastic. Brunt got booked early on in the game, who was playing left back for West Brom. And you could see Wilf targeted him and had a very, very good game. Some brilliant skills, getting the ball in the right areas, looking to play it across the area, which was good, but always going to be difficult when West Brom have got 10 players in the box. You saw a little bit of the old Wilf come out in the petulance in the second half, where he got hacked down and he responded by pushing the West Brom player in the chest. Thankfully, only got a yellow, but possibly on another day could have seen red. But what you want from Wilf in those instances is to ignore the mind games from West Brom. Get fouled, that's fine, but get up and take them on again win more fouls. And in fact, 5 minutes later, he did that, got into the area, won a penalty. That is the game from Wilf we want to see, and hopefully he's maturing week in, week out, and he's proving that he can make things happen, and he can have his say in the skills he uses on the pitch, and not in verbally or pushing anyone. I think the only person I was disappointed today was Gale. I've said for a long time, I think Gale needs to play. Maybe today wasn't his game. Didn't really get any half chances that we know he can bury. Very difficult with so many players at the back that West Brom played. But showed good hold-up skills now and then. Used the ball well when he did. But I think really, in terms of where they play, when Fraser Campbell came on, because he's a bit more physical, he offered a bit more in the 15 minutes that he was on than Gale did for the rest of the game. But I want to see Gale play more often, definitely. I think he's got a lot of goals in him this season and a lot to offer. But Campbell, we know he's limited, but did well when he came on and put himself about, which is good. So it was a very professional display from Palace. The sort of display that shows the maturity that we've developed this season in the last few weeks. We're really coming on. This is a really great team. And a lot of us in the pub afterwards were just reveling in the fact we've got a really good team here. The potential is massive as well. So a good game. It was a good day out. I met a lot of Palace fans who said nice things about Palace Fan TV, so I really appreciate that, and glad you're enjoying the videos. Here's Jay from the Eagles Beak with his thoughts on the game. I'm sure he enjoyed it as well. And don't forget to subscribe for more of these videos. Comment below with your thoughts on the game. Who was your man of the match? For me, it was probably Cabaye, but Wilf was not far behind. And in fact, everyone played very well. So a good day for Palace. Follow Palace Fan TV on Twitter and Instagram. Doing a lot of things on there. And thanks for watching. Here's Jay from the Eagles Beak with his thoughts. And I'll see you again soon. Cheers.
Hello guys, welcome back to Palace Fan TV. This is Jim and Jay's final say. You've already heard from Jim, and this is my turn to have my say on the way back from the game at Selhurst. Early kickoff for BT Sport. I had a nice little cameo on BT Sport before the game actually, which is very brief I have to say, but a couple of questions about Pardew and our home form. And I have to say, I'll reiterate what I said then, that our home form this season has been losses against Arsenal and Manchester City, and we've beaten Aston Villa, who we expect to beat. And today was a very similar game in that we would hope to beat West Brom before the game, before the kick-off happened. And as it turns out, we played very well and we got an excellent result, 1-2-0. And it's a game which perhaps last season we'd have struggled to win at home. West Brom are a hard side to break down, as they proved today. A lot of stalling tactics, but we kept on going. That first half we had plenty of opportunities going forward, always creating chances. That's a big thing for me. While we don't have a big striker like Connor Wickham up front, who's injured at the moment, we're playing with Dwight Gale, who I sometimes think we should play to his strengths a little bit more and not pump the ball up to him, because he's not a big guy. He tried his hardest to challenge those big central defenders for West Brom today, and some of them came off. He challenged them and he worked hard, but unless we've got a big guy up front who can really challenge and win the ball and take it down and hold it, then we can perhaps start to play the ball up into the air a few times. But once we play it on the floor, we looked very good. Wilfried Zaha was exceptional today, I have to say. Him and Cabaye in the middle were both very good indeed. Wilf just kept on going. He looked in the mood from the start. He kept going at Chris Brunt, the full-back there, and he got a lot of change out of him. He got past him, so I think there's only one time that Brunt got the ball off him, and he really was in great form, which was excellent to see. First half, half time, we should have been a goal or two up. But it's just really, we couldn't, our finishing, our shooting isn't particularly brilliant at the moment. Perhaps we'll fine-tune that as the season goes on. But as I said, we're creating chances and we're playing some really good stuff across the middle, out wide. We're getting Soiree involved, Kelly involved, Balassi and obviously Wilf were involved a lot. Punchin, his Punchin's coming back a little bit to his best. I think he's better this week than he has been the last 2 weeks. But for me, it was a fantastic result. We plodded away. Second half, we got the first goal, which was fully deserved. On the balance of play, I haven't seen any statistics or anything like that. But we fully deserved to get that first goal, and first goal from Yannick Balassi, a header at that as well. But you have to say a lot comes down to the ball from Cabaye over to the far post, and Yannick was there to head it home, and I think there was a lot of relief around the ground because it had been a struggle up to that point while we were still playing some good attacking stuff. It had been, was it going to be one of those games, Pulis coming back to haunt us and doing what he does or what his teams do. They're a big side and they get stuck in, and there was a lot of stalling going on and players receiving treatment and little bits and pieces that were a little bit niggly. So the relief to see Balassi score that goal was fantastic. I think that's his first goal at Selhurst. Somebody can probably correct me on this video. It may not be his first goal at Selhurst, but it certainly is his first goal at home for an awful long time. I can't think from memory that a goal is scored at Selhurst actually, but maybe you guys can correct me and I'll check it when I finish the video. But great ball from Goodbye, great a great play from a guy who is in great form, and we're seeing a lot from this guy in that he does a lot of good stuff, both offensively as well as defensively, so that is excellent to see. Balassi, he kept on going, but I think Wilf just edged its day as where our wing play comes into play, and our defence was was solid again. Soiree supported the front line and the midfield, and Hangeland and Dan were very good. Didn't really have an awful lot to cope with. I think West Brom had a few shots from memory, but I don't think any really affected or affected Hennessy in goal as such. So all in all, very happy Palace fans. I'm sure a lot of you are out there. And we go into the international break, and as things are at the moment, we're third in the Premier League. So fantastic stuff. Great start to the season, 8 games in, and we're on 15 points already. So I think we've got a lot to look forward to coming back from international break. Fingers crossed that those of our players who are on international duty come back safely, because they've got a big part to play as the season goes on. So I think that's all I've got on this win. Just very happy to beat a former manager coming back to Palace with such a kind of negative team and tactics, really, in a way, but very pleasing to get the result, and particularly after last season, they came and got a win against us towards the end of the season. Very pleasing, and again, we're beating teams that on paper we should be beating. So very excited for the rest of the season, and certainly we welcome West Ham to Selhurst Park after the international break, and thoroughly look forward to it. Thanks for watching the videos. As ever, leave your feedback, comments below the video, and make sure you subscribe and share so that other people can see them and view them. And I'll make my way off home now and have a few beers, I think. So thanks for watching, and catch up with you after the international break. Cheers.
Come on,